What when you have to say that you've got to reinvent yourself, though, for the most part, what's the biggest stumbling block? Is it fear? Is it fear of the unknown?
Well, you have this picture in your mind of how life is going to be, and all of a sudden that picture changes and it's forced upon you. First of all, you resist change. So are you going to sit there and say, man, I hate this, and resist it and be upset? Or are you going to say, I've been handed an opportunity here. It's not one that I chose, but I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to take this basket of lemons and I'm going to make lemonade. And that's an old cliche, but it's true. Many times, and you can read the success stories that are out there, many times people wind up doing their life's dream not by choice, but by circumstance that forced them to make a change. So again, it's not so very much what happens to us, it's our response to it.
When you take a look at some of the folks that you've been interacting with, do you feel that message is resonating, that the people are getting it now because of the fact that, you know, maybe a year ago when you wrote this, perhaps it wouldn't have gelled just as easily perhaps as it could today, given the fact that so many people are in the same boat?
Well, some people have more time to read now, which is you know, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's also, if all of a sudden you're out of work, great time to work on your physical well-being, great time to exercise, it's a great stress reliever, great time to work on other aspects of your life. Volunteer, actually. It's a great way to network. And get your name out there and to meet people. So don't
That's
just...
an interesting point, because a lot of people may not think about that. They may think they have to go to job fairs or specific gatherings in order to network, but volunteering in different
Yes.
in different cities for different you know, whether it's for the homeless or whether it's for different charities, it can really, you can meet some fascinating people that way.
Absolutely. It's happened many times. And figure out what you have to sell, your skill sets, your abilities, and think about repackaging. You don't have to stick with the same industry. It can be very beneficial to go elsewhere.
Because a lot of people feel like if the industry that they started out with is the one that they have to stick with. I mean, people realize, you know, don't often realize, because they're caught up in the moment of work, day to day, that they feel like their dream job or something was put on hold, you know, until
right.
they can get to it, until they retire. But you're seeing that's not happening today. That people are able to really tackle their dreams today,
That's right.
if they're willing to make that choice.
That's right. If you become the pilot with that aviation background, so many people fly in the back of the airplane of their lives, letting other people call the shots.
That's great.
And determine
That's a
where
great
it's
way
going.
of looking at it.
Climb
Sure.
up in the cockpit and put your hands on the controls and take responsibility for what's happening to you.
How much does faith play a part of this, spiritual faith? Does that have a lot to do with that success as well, do you think?
It did with me. A very wise friend asked me once, he said, you flew in Vietnam? And I said, yes. He said, were you scared? I said, many times, very scared. He said, if you could have known here 20, 30 years later you would be sitting here safe, would it have made the difference? Oh, and I said, all the difference in the world if I could have known that. We can live this life knowing that the next one is secure. And I didn't find those answers until age 40. So I would encourage anyone to be serious about asking themselves the big questions of life and then go about in a systematic way, looking at the facts. And faith is not what someone says. Faith was described as deciding to believe something you're pretty sure was not true.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Faith is a reasonable basis of believing something is true, and there's reasonable basis out there.
I've got an email saying that it's really hard to take that first step, you know, to really know if you're going in the right direction, if you're really making that choice, you know, something that you're away from your comfort zone.
Yes.
So,
yes.
What advice would you give that
Well,
individual?
first of all, there are 360 degrees on the compass, and you can go in any direction. You don't have to get the 1 out of 360. You don't have to take the perfect first step. You just have to get moving. I learned that lesson in Vietnam. We would fly into an area to pick up a pilot that had been shot down, and the bad guys would be shooting, and you know, tough circumstances. And my mentor said, Smitty, don't just sit there and ride around and be shot at. Start doing something. Start moving in a direction. You may move in the wrong direction first, and you may have to do a 180 in your plan, but at least you're moving. So that first step is very tough. But go ahead and pick out what, based on the information that you have, make a decision as to what the best option you have, and take that step and get moving.
Investing in yourself, though, does take some time and take some research. Any advice in that arena in terms of how best to go about researching what's out there?
Yes, we are each best designed for something, and where we do our best in life is when we are aligning our choices with our design. We're doing what comes naturally. Successful people get up early in the morning. I don't know whether that's a cause or an effect. I believe that it's really an effect. When the eyes pop open, they can't wait to get it today because they're doing what they love.
Right.
If your attitude is, gee, I've just got 4 more years and then I can retire and then I'll have it made, you're probably not in the right spot. And it takes some courage to break out, but there are batteries of tests and preference instruments that you can take to really get in touch with how you're wired. And the main thing it opens up your thinking. So that information is not very expensive to acquire, and it's useful.
What about community colleges today? I hear they're filling up like crazy because people are learning new skills and learning new ideas by virtue of signing up for courses that they never thought they were going to take before.
That's
that they've
right.
never been exposed to before.
And that's
it's a great
marvelous.
resource, isn't it?
It is a great resource, and also what happens in these times when people are laid off is the attack on the self-image. Anything that you can do to improve your self-image is going to be beneficial in other aspects of your life as well.
So don't cut yourself off from everybody. I mean, having a sense of community is very important in times like this.
Exceedingly.
Don't feel like you're alone in that.
That's right.
In that regard.
And journaling is not a bad idea. Even people that have never journaled before, write down how you're feeling. Realize that feelings are a big part of life, and it's fearful, and you're optimistic, and you're not sure how you're feeling. Well, analyze that and write it down, and you'll be able to share that experience with someone else.
Is that something you do on a regular basis, journaling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's really been helpful.
Yes. I don't do it perfectly.
Yeah.
And but it's kind of like working out. When I do the maneuvers, I get the benefit, and when I don't, I don't.
In your strategies, this Secret to Total Life Prosperity, do you have like goals, a time limit? You set for yourself? Say like, can you say that within 6 months I'm going to be back in the game again? Can an individual do that and really
you can set that
and really achieve that?
You can set that as a target, and it is better. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there.
Right.
So it's better to plan with specificity and time frames. So I'm a real proponent of that. Does that make it happen by itself? It leads you to the actions which will make it happen.
Okay, wonderful. That's terrific. Thank you so much. It's so great to have you here. And the book is called There's More to Life Than the Corner Office. And I think it's a great read. And you have some very good advice for people who are really out there struggling, with life's uncertainties today. And I think it's a wonderful resource for people to turn to, because we really need these kinds of resources to help people.
We're still America. It's still the land of the free, and we still have choices to make.
And he still believes in the American dream, which
Absolutely.
is wonderful. And I think that's important to hold on to in these times. Because
Exceedingly.
people believe that the American dream so often, many people believe that you can't have it. It's gone.
We've got to reclaim it.
We have to reclaim it.
That's right.
Thank you so much. It's a
You bet.
pleasure having you
pleasure.
here. Thank you very much.
You bet.
You're